Ladies and gentlemen, sim racing enthusiasts and curious onlookers, welcome to the Simpit's thrilling event. This is an epic test to see the boundaries, the limits of the next level GT Lite Pro chassis which we recently reviewed. So get ready for this force feedback frenzy. The GT Lite Pro chassis has already proven itself as a budget-friendly and versatile chassis, but can it handle the monstrous power of a 12 Nm Moza Racing wheelbase? That is the burning question. The folks over at Next Level Racing claim that the GT Lite Pro chassis can handle up to 13 Nm of power. So we're going to crank things to the maximum. We've got a 12 Nm wheelbase, we're going to crank it up to its max, and we're going to see just how well this rig can handle it. But today, I'm going to throw an extra curveball into the equation. I picked the heavy-duty set of pedals that I have here in the studio, that being the Ricmotech GT Pro 3 pedals. This is a super-duper heavy-duty pedal that will really see how much it flexes the rig and how much the wheel, or I should say the pedal deck assembly, flexes as well. So I must warn you, I have no idea what's going to happen from this moment forward in this show. I have no idea how it turns out. This is going to be filmed live with my immediate reactions as they play out. I think it'll just make it that much more thrilling. So buckle up your seatbelts, hold on to your seats, and get ready for the ultimate GT Lite Pro torture test.
Finish him!
Well, there's already a noticeable difference in just the weight of a 12 Nm wheel versus the 5 Nm that we tested. And you can see the whole rig becomes a little more wobbly on its own just based on that. But when we sit in it, that should change everything. So let me watch my wires here and get on in for our official torture test. So all I have done up to this point is I got the wheel on in the Moza software. I set it to 12 Nm and 100% power. I went into iRacing, I mapped my controls, I set it to tell it I have a 12 Nm wheel, and I put my force feedback up to about 8.9% in-game, which to me should be right to the point where we're probably going to be clipping at the maximum level, but it should be really drivable, so it should really test this at a really accurate level. With that, I'm in the dirt truck, the 4x truck, and that will always put a lot of action on the wheel, so we're going to see what it really does with 12 Nm. All right, so here we go. The torture test is underway. All right, so I can tell you already right out of the gate, that's more force feedback than I want to run. So we're definitely beyond my desired amount of force feedback for driving. Oh, that's a lot of wheel input. Oh yes, that takes a lot to turn it. Now, I can't see what it's doing. I'm just driving. You guys are seeing the wobble. You're seeing the wiggle. You're seeing how it handles. I'm just seeing how it drives. And right now, from where I'm going, whoa, whoa, whoa. A lot of wheel input, a lot of force feedback there. You can see how much effort it's taken on my arms to do that with the truck. And honestly, I am seeing the top of the wheel moving. I'm seeing it moving for sure, but not as much as I would have thought. I honestly thought this rig is rated for 13 Nm. Now, rated for means it can handle it. It doesn't mean it's wiggle free, because as you can see, whoa, over the jump, you can see we definitely have some wiggle and some wobble. Hard onto the brakes here. Yeah, over the jumps. So, I mean, honestly, if you were contemplating this rig and you were really going to go to, 12 Nm, we were at a medium weight wheel. Whoa, whoa, we're going off track. Nope, we saved it. I'm actually getting a little short of breath trying to drive with this much power on the wheel and at the same time talking. But, if I was buying a 12 Nm wheel, you're already getting into the money level and level of sim racing where budget might not be as much of an expense. So when I tested it with an R5, I really felt like that was a well-balanced wheel. And I don't know if I'm seeing, honestly, I am not seeing any more wobble than I was with the 5 Nm, which is a real huge testament to this rig and what it can do. So what's going on here, let me slow down real quick and talk about it. So we have these reverse straps. And it's doing a really good job of holding the rig upright, stable. So when I press forward, looking right here specifically, when I press forward, you can see this one's getting a little bit tightened up and preventing it from moving much more than that. When I pull on it, the same thing. My feet are down here on the pedals, and when I pull, you can see these straps, and they have I got them as tight as I can get them without pulling up on the pedals. And you can see it resists this point. So right here, we have a fairly stable rig. Right here, you can see a little bit of twist going on. And this isn't even the Newton meters. This is just leverage. It wouldn't matter what Newton meters. It could be a lightweight wheel, and I'd still see this flex right here, I feel. Same thing with the wheel deck. The wheel deck. That's where I'm seeing flexes in this clamping mechanism. It wouldn't matter what size wheel or what strength wheel. So I think the limitation of 13 Newton meters is not even as much what the rig can handle as much as how much weight do you want to put on this. And I think that this right here, this bolt-on clamp plastic mechanism swing arm, this clamp here, I think the limitation of 13 Newton meters is as much here, maybe in this wheel deck, as it is. I mean, I think I could put a much stronger wheel on it, to be honest with you. So again, we're at 12 Newton meters, 12 Newton meters with the force feedback. Looking at my meter, I am clipping every time I hit a really hard turn. I'm clipping right on the smoother turns. I'm heavy into the green, maybe a little touch of the light yellow. But that's, again, and in the effort it's taking to do this is far more than I would ever drive with. Far more than I would ever drive with. So, does it wobble? Yes, it does. But we already knew that going in. It doesn't wobble any worse, to my amazement, and that is fantastic for those who need a portable rig, a rig they can just put away. And the pedals, I'm using my Ricmotech hydraulic pedals right now, and I have them flat mounted, and I am not feeling anything out of that. The other is, the previous models without these straps, when you pressed, it actually tended to lift parts of the rig up. And I can actually stand on this brake pretty heavy, and you can see how strong the rig is. I do have them flat. You could run this setup. You could run this setup all day long. You know, when I'm not fighting with it, when I'm driving smooth, I'm not feeling much flex. Just hit a wall there even for an extra bump. I am not. I'm not seeing an outrageous amount of wheel movement from my perspective. I have this right in my face, and yes, it's moving, but it's reasonable. It's a totally drivable amount. And the main thing is when we hit the brakes, yeah, it holds them pretty well. You're seeing the flex. I'm feeling the flex. What I'm feeling on my end is maybe just a hint of movement that I think might actually be the carpeting sucking up the pedal, the cushioning under the carpet, maybe giving it a little bit of initial movement. And not a whole lot of flex though. I mean, it's a pretty solid I have tested rigs that are made of profile or of tubing that seem to have just as much flex when it comes to really standing on the brake pedal hard and seeing how things go. And the rig itself, you can't see because we're just focused on the pedals, but you saw it in the previous footage. The rig is handling the load very well as far as brake pressure. So again, another area where this lightweight, collapsible, affordable starter rig really will allow you to upgrade your equipment and make equipment a priority, and maybe make a sim chassis, whether it be one you buy or build yourself, a secondary priority, which is great. It's really an option we've not had a lot of in the sim racing market. Very impressive. Sim racing enthusiasts, we've reached the end of the Simpit's epic journey, a torturous test that has pushed the next level racing GT Lite Pro chassis to its limits. We have subjected this lightweight, budget-friendly rig to the monstrous powers of the Moza Racing 12 Newton meter racing wheel, and the results are in. The GT Lite Pro proved itself capable. It lived up to our expectations, and while it did conquer our challenge, we did see that we really did push it to its very limits or boundaries. This lightweight rig delivers a satisfying experience within those limitations, making it still a great option for beginners or people on a tight budget or people who need a very space-efficient setup. In conclusion, the Next Level Racing GT Lite Pro chassis is a really good option for beginners, people just starting out, people who have to build up or buy all of their equipment out of the gate. And as you can see, you can upgrade it over time. Step up from a 5.5 to a 12 Newton meter, you're gonna be okay. You could step up to heavier duty pedals, you're gonna be okay, and you can upgrade the chassis later to match that newer equipment. And for those who are looking for a more robust setup than this, well, you're lucky. There are a ton of options out there. It's just going to cost you probably double, triple, even quadruple the amount of money. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I did this because of some of the comments to the original video asking for more of a torture test. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can find out when our next video comes out. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you like this one, and thank you for watching. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.